Have you ever looked at your hands and felt they reveal more age than your face, with lines, thin skin, and a fragile texture that seems almost like paper? Tonight, you will discover a simple ritual that can make those wrinkles appear softer, even on hands of 70, 80, or 90 years old. I will guide you through the precise method, the duration it should remain on your skin, and a common error that can actually worsen dryness. First, understand this. Hands do not grow old merely because of the passing years. They show age from constant use, from exposure, and often from neglect. They are the body's busiest workers, yet frequently receive the least attention. Daily chores, frequent contact with soap, detergents, sun exposure, and seasonal cold all take a toll. Many people have youthful-looking faces while their hands instantly betray their age. Over time, the skin on the back of the hand loses fat, water retention diminishes, and collagen that once maintained firmness fades. To make matters worse, sebaceous glands in this area are sparse, so the skin's natural defenses are weaker. When you add hot water, alcohol-based products, cleaning chemicals, and sunlight every day, the outcome is obvious. Deeper lines, dull tone, rough texture, and hands that look weary. This is where salt becomes a valuable ally, but not a miracle. A small amount of fine salt can gently lift the layer of dead skin cells that accumulate on the surface. That layer is the culprit behind grayish, dry-looking skin and exaggerated wrinkles. Removing it delicately allows the skin to reflect light better, feel smoother, and more effectively absorb nourishing oils or creams applied afterward. Think of it as polishing a table. No matter how much wax or oil you use, the surface will not shine until the dust is removed first. The same principle applies to your hands. Fine salt, when used correctly, prepares the skin for optimal care. However, it is critical to understand the technique. Salt should never be used aggressively, as if sanding wood. Avoid coarse grains or vigorous rubbing, which can damage the skin barrier and leave hands drier than before. On mature skin, gentleness is far more effective than force. The goal is not punishment, it is to awaken the skin. Another benefit of a soft massage on the back of the hands before sleep is mild stimulation of local circulation. While it won't reverse decades of aging instantly, it can reduce dullness and stiffness. Old hands often look aged not solely because of wrinkles, but because of dehydration, poor texture, and neglected surfaces. Correct these, and the difference is remarkable. The real secret lies in timing, mixture, and area of application. Focus on the back of the hand rather than the palm, which has thicker skin and ages differently. Age reveals itself mostly on the dorsal surface, marked knuckles, thin layers, fine lines, and the wrinkled texture highlighted by side lighting. Now, the correct formulation is key. Salt alone left on the skin can lead to dryness. To avoid this, mix a pinch of fine salt with half a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil or sweet almond oil, and half a teaspoon of a rich, fragrance-free hand cream. This combination is far superior to using salt by itself. The salt gently polishes, the oil adds flexibility, and the cream locks in moisture. Wrinkled hands often do not need more products. They need a stronger barrier. A repaired barrier softens the skin, reducing the appearance of lines without artificial filling. Preparation is simple. In a clean spoon or palm, blend the salt, oil, and cream into a soft paste. It should neither be watery nor overly grainy. Avoid large crystals. If using coarse sea salt, grind it first or choose fine table salt. Apply the mixture to the back of one hand, then the other, focusing on knuckles, fingers, nail areas, and dorsal surfaces. The palm requires attention only if it is rough. Massage gently in circular motions for 40 seconds to 1 minute per hand. Treat the skin as delicate fabric, not a pot to scrub. Cover the knuckles carefully, which tend to collect dry skin, and the area between the thumb and index finger, often neglected yet prone to visible aging. By following this ritual, your hands regain softness, improved texture, and a fresher, smoother appearance. The combination of gentle exfoliation, nourishing oil, and protective cream restores comfort and vitality. Over time, the visible lines diminish, not because they are filled in artificially, but because the skin itself regains hydration, elasticity, and a polished surface. After massaging the mixture gently into your hands, let it rest for around 3 to 5 minutes. For those with very sensitive skin, begin with just 2 minutes before rinsing off. Always use lukewarm water, never hot. Hot water strips away natural oils and intensifies dryness. Pat your hands dry without rubbing, pressing gently with a towel. This is the moment that truly changes the outcome. Right after rinsing, apply a thin layer of thick cream or mix a few drops of castor oil with your usual hand cream. If you have cotton gloves, wearing them overnight locks in moisture, leaving your hands softer, fuller, and with less noticeable wrinkles when morning comes. A common mistake I often see is exfoliating, rinsing, and going straight to bed without sealing in hydration. Without this step, the skin remains exposed and can feel drier the next day. Salt prepares the surface, but the cream is what works deeply overnight. One without the other leaves results incomplete. How often should you do this? Usually, 2 to 3 nights per week is sufficient. Daily exfoliation is unnecessary. Mature skin is more likely to be damaged by overuse than helped. Gentle, consistent care wins every time. It is far better to perform this ritual 3 nights a week for a month than 5 consecutive nights and stop due to irritation. If this is your first try, start with one hand. That allows you to compare results the next morning. Many are astonished when the treated hand feels smoother, appears more radiant, and seems less tight than the untreated one. This small, tangible comparison convinces far more than any promise could. Nighttime is also the optimal moment for this ritual. During the day, hands are constantly defending themselves. They are washed, get wet, touch soaps, alcohol, rough surfaces, and absorb sunlight. At night, however, the skin enters a repair phase. You remain still, free from repeated washing or chemical contact, and no UV rays disturb the freshly cared-for skin. That is why the best outcomes almost always follow an evening application. A detail often overlooked can make a significant difference. Before applying the mixture, soak your hands in lukewarm water for 1 or 2 minutes, or wrap them in a lukewarm towel. Avoid hot water. This simple gesture softens the surface slightly, ensuring a more even massage. Dry thoroughly, especially between fingers, before applying the preparation. This small step greatly enhances the final sensation. Nighttime also allows a second precious action for mature skin: gentle occlusion. Gentle occlusion means sealing the skin after treatment with a richer cream. Using cotton gloves is not about suffocating the skin. It prevents water loss while you sleep. For older hands, this small step can make a dramatic difference. Skin that felt rough and rigid transforms into supple, flexible hands by morning. Here is something essential to understand. Visible wrinkles on hands often show more than just structural lines. Many times you are seeing folds caused by dehydration, sunken skin from lack of water, and a surface that has been mistreated. This is excellent news because much of that appearance can improve simply by restoring moisture and a healthier barrier. We are not changing bones, veins, or tendons. The focus is on visual quality, the surface that captures attention immediately. Consider a typical example. A 74-year-old woman once said, "My face doesn't bother me anymore, but my hands do because they make me look older." Her hands had endured constant washing, cooking, cleaning, and gardening, often without sunscreen. She began this ritual 2 nights per week, applying cream nightly. In less than 2 weeks, her hands showed noticeable improvement in texture. Lines were still visible, of course. This is not magic, but they appeared softer. The skin was less dull, and knuckles no longer looked dry. This dramatically altered the overall impression of her hands. To enhance results, you can add a single drop of vegetable glycerin to the final cream if the hands are extremely dry. Glycerin attracts water, and combined with a thick cream, it boosts hydration significantly. Another simple addition is 2 drops of olive or almond oil on the cuticles before putting on gloves. Many older hands appear more aged simply because cuticles and nails are dry and neglected. Improving that area makes the entire hand look well cared for. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that more product means better results. A thick, sticky layer can be uncomfortable and discourage continued use. With mature skin, the best approach is always small amounts, proper technique, and repetition. What transforms the hands is not excess, it is habit. Write salt as a reminder if you plan to try this ritual before bedtime. Finally, let's set realistic expectations. Many remedies excite curiosity, but understanding what they can and cannot achieve is crucial. This ritual improves hydration, texture, and the visual softness of your hands. It does not reverse structural aging. Knowing the difference between expectation and reality ensures satisfaction and keeps you consistent. On the very first night, the most noticeable difference is usually the texture. The skin feels softer, less rough, and far more comfortable. Many people also observe that the back of the hand catches the light better and looks less ashy. This alone is a significant improvement, even if it does not transform the hand deeply. By the end of the first week, with consistent practice, cuticles begin to look healthier. Knuckles lose that stark, dry appearance, and the skin stops feeling so tight. Some even notice a change in sensation when closing the hand before experiencing any stretch. Over time, the hand feels more flexible and alive. After 2 to 3 weeks, the most apparent improvement is that fine lines appear less pronounced, and the overall surface seems smoother. This is not because wrinkles vanish completely, but because the skin is no longer dehydrated. Here is a smart addition. If you complement this nighttime ritual with daily sunscreen on your hands, the improvements endure longer. Night care alone is less effective if the hands are exposed to sunlight the next day without protection. UV rays do more than stain. They break down collagen and worsen texture. Many hand wrinkles result from years of sun exposure rather than chronological age. Small wrinkles around the joints also benefit. That skin is often dry and heavily folded. Proper care does not erase it, but it appears less rigid and more supple. Another subtle but meaningful change is how the hands feel to the touch. Rough, papery hands regain softness, which matters greatly. Looking better is important, but feeling skin alive is equally satisfying. For very dry or damaged hands, there is a nourishing variant to use once a week. Combine a pinch of fine salt with 1 teaspoon of plain yogurt and half a teaspoon of honey. Yogurt softens the surface. Honey provides moisture, and salt gives gentle exfoliation. Let the mixture sit for 3 minutes, then rinse with lukewarm water and follow with cream. This version works particularly well for dull, extremely dry hands, but avoid it if there are cuts or irritated skin. Internal care also supports visible results. Stay well hydrated, consume adequate protein, and include healthy fats such as olive oil, avocado, or nuts. The hand's skin does not exist separately from the rest of the body. If an older person is dehydrated, consumes insufficient protein, or lives with chronic inflammation, the skin reflects these conditions. Topical treatments are far more effective when the body supports them. If you notice persistent dryness combined with itching, cracking, redness, or intense flaking, this may no longer be a matter of age alone. Dermatitis, allergy, or eczema could be involved. In such cases, do not apply salt until the issue is properly addressed. Sometimes the most effective home remedy is pausing and reassessing. Now let's discuss the most common mistakes that accelerate hand aging, even among those who believe they are caring for their skin. First, using coarse salt can create micro-injuries and worsen appearance. Always choose fine salt in small amounts. Second, rubbing too hard is counterproductive. Mature skin responds far better to gentle movements. Redness or a burning sensation indicates excessive pressure. Third, performing this ritual every night is unnecessary. 2 to 3 times per week suffices for most people. On other days, cream or oil and basic protection are enough. Fourth, washing with very hot water is harmful. Many older hands become wrinkled not only due to age, but because repeated hot water strips natural oils and weakens the skin barrier. Fifth, neglecting the back of the hands during the day undermines progress. You apply sunscreen to the face but leave the hands exposed, then wonder why they age faster. Another frequent error is using the prepared mixture at night, but continuing daily activities that harm the skin, washing dishes without gloves, cleaning with bleach or alcohol, or failing to protect hands from sunlight. Caring for hands also means avoiding actions that mistreat them. If washing dishes or cleaning, always wear gloves. Apply sunscreen when outdoors. If washing hands often, reapply cream multiple times daily, even if only a small amount. Safety is critical. Do not use salt on open wounds, deep cracks, active dermatitis, psoriasis, or in cases of diabetes with sensitivity or slow healing. Similarly, avoid exfoliating on extremely thin skin that marks easily. In these situations, calming and hydrating the skin comes first, not exfoliation. Another warning: avoid aggressive home remedies such as lemon, baking soda, or harsh mixtures found online. They often irritate or stain the skin. Simple, gentle, and correctly applied treatments work far better. Approach this ritual calmly. Observe your hands before sleep and again in the morning. Sometimes small, consistent changes provide the strongest motivation to continue. On mature skin, persistence is what truly delivers results. Share this method with a friend or family member who wants to soften wrinkles and care for their hands. Consistency, gentle technique, and proper protection transform the appearance and feel of aging hands over time. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.